Hi, my
Hi,
name's Jody
everybody.
Zarambi. Hi. For some reason, it looks like our screen is freezing a little bit, so I'm just going to talk until we get Ellen back. But today, Ellen and I are going to talk about 2024 and what's coming up for 2025. Hi, Ellen. How are you today?
Hi, am I still frozen?
Nope, you're here.
Okay. Yeah, we seem to be having a little bit of glitch with some of the destinations, but we'll post afterwards. We'll post the video.
Sounds great. So, you know me because I've been doing the moderating for the last couple of years, and you should know Ellen. She's one of our authors at Desert Palm Press. But you know what? Ellen does more than that. She's our tech guru too. So we wanted to come on today and chat a bit about what we each do for these live streams and how it went this year and what we have coming up for next year. Ellen, so you're the one that keeps us together pretty much because, these tech things, they get more complex as time goes on, don't they?
They do, but we're very happy with the StreamYard. It lets us go to multiple destinations at the same time. So at any given time when we do a video, we're on Facebook, multiple Facebook pages, Instagram, YouTube. So we're
Yeah.
all over when we do these.
Yeah, and you know what? It does get a little complex. I know with the Instagram, you have to do all these steps, and if you don't do every single one, then it doesn't go on. We have problems with it. So that's unfortunate, but even if that happens, we can upload it afterwards. So we deal with the tech as it comes along. I like the live stream too. I think it's been really successful as far as getting us in front of people and our authors out in front of people. And I think with 2024, we've had some wonderful authors on this live stream with us. What do you think?
I think so too. I think we've had a lot of nice guest authors, which I've
Hmm.
enjoyed. We've tried different avenues of how to get people in front of us, and even when people don't watch live, we get to they get to watch it afterwards, which is
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. And we had some wonderful people this year. We had Alicia Gale, who wrote a wonderful murder mystery, Karen
Mhm.
Badger, who does that, kind of a paranormal type of writing, always at the edge of your seat. Sam Liddell, who does historic fiction, as well as other fantasy and great writing on that part too. So we've had some wonderful guest writers, and we'll continue to do that next year. I know. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll be interested to see who we can get for next year.
Oh, I have a list, Ellen. I have a
Oh, a
list.
waiting list.
Yes, absolutely. And it is fun actually just to reach out to our sister authors anyways and just say, "Hey, would you like to be interviewed?" And 9 times out of 10 they want it because we know how hard it is to get in front of people and so that we can get our books sold. So I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to try and use that opportunity. It's a safe space. We try and make it easy for them and make them feel comfortable while we're doing it.
Yeah, I think you ask any author what the hardest part of writing is, and they're going to say marketing.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's 100% true. The promoting is definitely the hardest. You only have so many opportunities to get in front of people. So,
Hmm.
I know that I'm glad to invite people in. And if any of you are watching today and you're an author and you would like to be a guest, please contact me. You can Jody Zarambi, you can go over to Launchpoint Press and send me an email that way, or just do publisher at launchpointpress.com. And I would love to hear from you and get you on the roster. So
Sounds like a good plan.
I think so too. So I have to say I really enjoyed putting this together. And of course my role is the moderator. So I try and make people comfortable, keep it rolling along, write the questions for the interviews. But there have been some mistakes and bloopers, I guess we call them, or
Yeah, little
outtakes.
glitches.
And sometimes you clean that up for us for afterwards, which I really appreciate, Ellen, taking out some of that.
Some of them have been a little more challenging than others, I will say.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, some of it we can't really help, like with the technological bloopers that come when
Yeah.
one of us freezes, for instance, or when the audio isn't working great. What do you think? What's been the most challenging for you to fix for us?
I think that's it. When the audio and the video glitch up, luckily with StreamYard, it does each file separately. So if the person freezes up, I can overlay the picture with a cover of their book or some other thing, and then have the audio down below. If it's a little bit of a glitch, I have to sit there and match up the audio with them talking, so it doesn't look like there's a delay in what they're saying versus the picture. That's
Right.
the hardest. I've had to do that once or twice.
Yeah, that is tough because sometimes when we're doing it live, it's not matching up. And so that does cause a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
And that, and we don't always know what's going on with the tech for the other authors either. I mean, they're coming from all over the place. We have people coming from across the US and even outside the US. One of my authors lives in Austria, and we had her on this year. And so you're dealing with all the different technology, and sometimes people have storms, thunderstorms. One day we had an author who kind of, slid into place halfway through our interviews, our author readings, because they had the storms and she couldn't get online.
Yeah.
And, so that can be a problem. And I had a big problem on one of our interviews, one of our sessions. Right before we came on, I couldn't see the screen. And I had to do it blind. I had to do the introduction blind.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
And I had to introduce the first reader, and then I was able to figure out how to get there. Oh my God, that is the worst. But we get through it, don't we?
We cover each other well, so
yeah, I think that's true. We're a good team, definitely. So what else did I want to talk about? I want to talk a little bit about who we had on this past year and the year before. So kind of do a recap, and then we can go and talk about what we're going to do next year for our live stream sessions. So in 2023, we had 10 sessions out of 12. We started in February, and we only skipped 1 month, which was August. And it seems to me that the summertime is hard. We always end up skipping at least one in the summer because, well, it's a variety of reasons. It could be that people are sick. That's what happened this year. Everyone went to, a literary conference, and then our session, which was scheduled for July, the end of July, everyone had COVID, so we had to cancel that one. And so we always have to deal with that unexpected aspect of it. But so 2023, we had 10 though. We had 4 guest speakers, which was great. They were from all different publishing houses, and we had our author readings where we'd stack in 4 to 6 readers. And then we had on alternate months, we had our author and question and answer for our authors, where we just showcased 2 authors. And I think that did pretty well. And then this year, we did pretty much the same, but we only had 7 sessions. As I said, one was because we had to cancel due to COVID, but we also spaced it out more and skipped a couple months. And I kind of think that was better. So I know we were talking about what we're going to do next year. Yeah. So go ahead. What do you think?
I think for next year, I think we're going to streamline it a bit and space them out a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And we had discussed switching to more the Q&A aspect of it than the author readings, to give authors more time to talk about their works.
Yeah.
And still having the guests, but still having the guest authors on.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's a good idea. We'll do it every other month now, just the author interviews. So we'll keep with the 1 Lodge Point Press author and 1 Desert Palm Press author. And then every so often we will invite in another author from a different publishing house. Yeah, I think that would be fun. We'll get a little more in depth, I think, get more information. They'll still read something from one of their works, either published or work in progress. But I think that will be a good change up. And the other thing we talked about was changing the day. So, this year we've done it Sundays. Was it start 1 o'clock your time,
Eastern
10 a.m. Pacific. And we did that partially so that people outside the U.S. could participate. But, I think what we're going to do is go back to the day and time that we did in 2023, which would be Thursday nights at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I think
I
that
thought you
will.
were going to say 4 p.m. Eastern time, and I was going to be like, "What are you talking about? We never discussed that."
You know, I'm always
I'm going to be at work.
I'm always gonna say Pacific first because that's where I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, don't panic, Ellen. We're good. You'll be back from work. So yeah, so we'll do 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern every other month on Thursday evening. And of course there's the playback for anyone who can't watch it at the time too. So I think we'll do that and see how it works, at least for the first part of the year. And then we'll see what's going on. And if we need to change it back to a weekend, maybe we can do it later on a weekend day so that those who could do it in the morning could do it later in the day. But for now, we do have a preliminary schedule. So I can at least say that our first few live streams next year will be February 13th and then April 10th and June 12th. So those are our tentative dates for next year. And then we'll give out the other dates as we go along and see if we need to adjust at all. But I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good to shake things up every so often and reevaluate and then take it from there.
Yeah.
And you know, so you did a reading this year. Did you do a question and answer session with us or just the reading? I think it was just a reading, wasn't it?
What did we do last month? I think I participated in last month. Was that just a reading?
That was just a reading. Okay.
Yeah. So then it was just a reading.
Okay. So you didn't get to have the fun interview with the lightning rounds this time.
No. I missed out on that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll do it next year. We'll definitely do it. But I do really like the lightning rounds. It's something because, you know, with these question and answer sessions, I write up the questions and then I provide them to the authors beforehand so they can think about it, you know, and that way they're not taken by surprise too much. Because some people love off the cuff and other people get really
stressed.
Yes, they get really stressed by it. Like I have no clue what to say. And have you ever had that experience, Ellen, where you were asked something you didn't expect it and you had to deal with that?
I have. Mostly because the nature of your and I business, which is we're both attorneys. So, you know, you're standing in a courtroom or in a meeting and somebody asks you a question and you're like, I don't know the answer to that quite. And so you just gotta wing it. You gotta go with it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It can become you know, rattling. And I was just thinking as I asked you the question, like now, like when I just asked you a question, you didn't expect
it. Like that question you just asked?
Yeah, like that. But but it does happen. I mean, I remember being at a con and I was asked a question, my mind entirely blanked out. I had no clue how to answer. And then the moderator's kind of, you know, trying to poke me a little bit to get me to answer. And I just could not think of a thing. And then of course, after the con, after that session, I could think of 10 answers. Yeah, that's the worst. So that's why I provide those questions. But that all goes out the window with the lightning round, which I love. And then those are silly, right? You have to think quickly on your feet. And it's they're not hard questions. Normally, it's, you know, things like, do you like waking up early or going to bed late, sort of thing. Just really easy stuff to get to know the authors a little bit more. But I find them fun. You know.
So you're not going to ask me what the meaning of life is?
Not today. I think I'll save that for next year. So start thinking of a good answer, Ellen. I want to know.
The answer is always 42.
That's right, 42. You know, and it's funny because sometimes I'll ask, you know, what's your if you could be an animal, what animal would you be, sort of thing, and you just can see the people thinking like, oh my god. And I've had a couple times where people were like, oh well, what she just said is what I was gonna say, and I'm like, yeah, okay. A wolf every single time, or an eagle, or whatever it is. I've had some fun answers come out, like when I asked what your favorite sandwich is or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Or what sandwich would represent you best? So
yeah, I don't know what I would answer to that at all.
Right. Not a pastrami.
I can tell you what my favorite sandwich is. That's about it.
Pastrami on rye? Is that what we're saying?
That's a New York thing. It is up there, but I do a roast beef and provolone on a roll.
Oh, there you go. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm always a cheesesteak girl myself. That's where I grew up eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they say Philly cheesesteak, but in Massachusetts, where I'm from, Boston area, we didn't call it a Philly cheesesteak.
Well, because you're in Boston.
Because I'm in Boston, we know how to make them too. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's what we're looking at for next year. I think that will be a fun change up for us. What else happened this year, Ellen? What else can we
What else did we do?
we did some stuff, right?
We did some stuff. We did some. You came out with a. Did you come out with a book this year? Or was that
No, I
last
was
year?
totally lax. Didn't do
Yeah,
a
we were
damn
totally
thing.
lapsed in that.
I did nothing. I
I
don't
did
think I even
nothing.
read this year. I didn't do anything.
Well, you've been busy. Do you want to explain why you've been so busy?
Oh yeah, I can do that. So I took over Launchpoint Press as a publisher last year, and now this year we opened it up for submissions. I've been pretty busy with that. We signed on a few new authors. I'm really excited about them. Can't wait to have them reading for us next year. One of them we did have read earlier in the year, Heather Warner, and her book's coming out December 20th. I'm so excited about it.
She was really good.
Yeah,
I
she's
like
really
her.
great reader too. She knows how to slow down and make it
Yeah.
count. And a lot of authors, once they're reading, they go too fast. You can't really understand them, or they're kind of monotone. So
Okay, just because I'm trying to fit within that 5-minute window doesn't. Yeah.
So you do both, is what you're saying?
I was like, so I'm trying to get a chapter and a half in 5 minutes. Don't argue with me.
I would never. But anyways, back to the point. Heather did a great reading. So
Yes.
when did she read? That was back. Let me see if I can find that. She was in June 23rd. So if you didn't catch that, you should look it up. It's on the Desert Palm Press Facebook page and the Launch Point Press Facebook page, and on our YouTube channels, the Jazzy Mitchell YouTube channel and Desert Palm Press YouTube channel. So you can find them. And they were really, really good readings. So you should check that out. So that's taken up a lot of my time, of course, doing the whole.
Which book did she read from?
Oh, so she read from Summit Shadow. And actually, I wish I had the book with me right now, but we did just get the proof. It looks awesome. Can't wait for you to see it. So Summit Shadow, guys. It is a thriller. It's about four friends who went to college together. They get back together to climb the summit of an Alaskan mountain, or it's a really treacherous one. And come to find out, the person who coordinated it, she wants to go back because her parents died on that mountain when she was a little kid, and she's trying to find answers. And things get spooky pretty quickly. So that's where the thriller part comes in. I think.
And I remember Heather, because Heather had that interesting side gig she was doing, her hobby.
Yes,
which was trekking all over the world on a bicycle.
Right. She did cycling through Mongolia this summer. So Heather, if you're watching this, we're really talking you up.
Yeah, there you go. We hope you made it back safe.
Oh, she did. So that's part of what I've been doing, and it kind of leads into something that's happening next year, January 1st. Desert Palm Press is going to come under my company, and it will remain its own imprint, but I'll become the publisher for Desert Palm Press. So I'll be the publisher for Launch Point Press and Desert Palm Press.
And speaking as an author at Desert Palm Press, I'm very excited.
Oh, thanks, Ellen. That's really nice of you. I started out at Desert Palm Press. That's where all my books were actually published before I took over Launch Point Press. So I feel an affinity to Desert Palm Press. I've always loved them. I know most of the authors there, and of course through the live stream. But I have that loyalty to Desert Palm Press. So I was thrilled when Lee, the publisher, asked me to take over. She's retiring, so I feel a lot of happiness for it, but more than that, I feel a responsibility because she's done such a great time. I want to keep that legacy going and have a safe space for the present authors there, as well as keep growing it as we are with Launch Point Press. So 2 different imprints. It won't change on the front end. It's really just the back end. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm glad you're excited, Ellen.
I am very excited. Also, we
Yeah.
had some breaking news out of Desert Palm Press yesterday, today.
What was
There's a
that?
Black Friday sale going on
Oh,
until
yeah, that's
January
right.
1st.
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently, ebooks are all $3.99 and audiobooks are all $9.99. Plus, I've been told you get to still use the 10% discount code.
No, you can't get better than that. People
Can't
should
get better than
really,
that.
yeah, download all those books while you have that price because that's a really good price. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I should get on board with that and do that with Launch Point Press. That sounds like a
Hmm.
good idea.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so very exciting. And Desert Palm Press, you're part of this great family that has such wonderful authors. It's a larger publishing house and Launch Point Press, and
Hmm.
so I'm just looking forward to all of that. And
We have a
and
lot of we have a lot of really good authors.
oh,
Anne
absolutely.
Cornell is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Jane Alden,
Mm-hmm.
Barbara
Ray
Lynn Magden,
Magden.
Ray
Yeah.
Magden, Kelly
Yeah.
Mitchell, K.L.
Barbara
Mitchell.
Murphy. Barbara Murphy, CJ Murphy. I mean, a lot of these people,
Yeah.
Kelly Doherty, a lot of these people, they've won awards. Not that
Hmm.
that's the be all, but it's still nice to be recognized for your work.
Yeah.
You've been recognized for your work too.
Yes,
So
I did.
yeah,
That was surprising and shocking at the same time.
and awesome, and awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I
well
got
deserved.
the Lesbian Bard Award for my second book
Mm-hmm.
twice in two different categories. And I
Yeah.
got to tell you, it was really nice waking up to that news.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah,
why not? Everyone likes to be seen, so to speak.
yeah,
And part of writing a book is there's so many hours you're on your own trying to do this and trying to fight that fraud factor and that
hmm,
this is a bunch of crap thing and you
yeah.
know, it's a slog.
It is very nice to get some um, validation that what you're doing is quality.
Right. Yeah,
Because as you're
exactly.
sitting there writing it with blood, sweat, and tears, you're like, "This is crap. Nobody's ever going to read it. Why am I
Hmm.
doing this?"
Right.
And then at the end, to have somebody come along and tell you that you did it well
Yeah, and that they
means a
really
lot.
enjoyed it, that it stuck with them, that they still remember some of these
Yeah,
scenes.
that's
Yeah.
why reviews are so important because not only do they feed the algorithm, they feed us.
Absolutely. And actually, let's talk about that for a minute. This whole review thing, because I see, you know, especially with newer writers, but even with us, people just assume, oh, you're established, you don't need any reviews, but that's so not true. And, we still need reviews, and it doesn't have to be a long, in-depth review. Although I do
Yeah,
love those, so I'm going to say that I love it. I love knowing what they actually liked and what worked. But if they don't want to do that, just write, "This was a great book. I really enjoyed it," and give
yeah,
that give that to the authors because we need
yeah,
it. And I also say because we're smaller presses, it makes a big difference, you
yeah.
know. And also, try and buy it from the publishing houses directly if you can, because that gives a bigger cut to the authors, and we want them to be rewarded for those works. And if we're going through Amazon, of course, or Barnes and Noble, or
Hmm.
Apple, wherever it is, right? You're getting less of a return for that. So,
And there are plenty of free e-reader books and free audiobook software apps that you can get that
hmm
you're not tied to Amazon to read a book or listen to a book.
yeah, I mean, I use Calibri, and that's a free service
Hmm.
too. But
I
there are plenty
use
out there.
ebook reader.
Ebook reader,
That's
yeah.
an ebook reader.
Yeah, so there are plenty out there. So you can just,
Hmm.
use whichever software you want. You don't need to have a Kindle. You don't need to do it through Amazon, as you said. You don't have to do it through the Nook either, or Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
Like you can, or you can do whatever you want. You can read it on your computer. Just use one of these free
yeah.
programs.
And if you can't afford books and you like to read voraciously, you can always check us out at the library.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
And if they don't have it at the library and you want to read something from one of these authors, you can order it through the library and then it will be
yeah,
on the shelves for other people too, which is great, or
yeah.
online. So either way, that's another way to help these small indie authors, whether they're self-published or through a small indie publishing house like mine. When you order it through the library, it's a free service and then it's there for everyone. So
Hmm.
definitely a good point that you're making there. So yeah, that's cool news. What else is happening this year? What else have we been doing?
What else have we been doing? I've been slowly working on a book in progress. Oh, you know what we could talk about? Can we talk about it?
Yes.
Can we talk
And then
about
we'll talk about our projects. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's talk about the thing we did yesterday.
Yes, let's talk
Okay,
about
let's
this.
talk about the thing we did yesterday.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Yesterday, we held the second annual Opus Literary Alliance annual meeting for its membership.
What's Opus? What are you talking about? What
is Opus? Opus is, let's see if I can pull it up. You keep everybody busy while I pull it up.
Da, 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 da. Okay, so while she's pulling it up, Opus Literary Alliance is a nonprofit she's going to talk to you about, and she's the president. I'm the vice president. Yes, I know, but still, and it's great. It's awesome. It's a place for lesbian literature and everyone that is attached to it.
I pulled up our mission statement. Our mission is to advance literary and educational opportunities for members, preserve our legacies, and celebrate, promote, and support lesbian, women-loving women, and sapphic literature. Opus Literary Alliance seeks to cultivate a vibrant community by uniting readers, writers, publishers, and affiliated members with the resources, information, services, and connections they need to thrive.
No, that sounds really cool. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we want to provide the safe, supportive atmosphere for everyone, fill that void that we've seen this whole opening up basically, where lesbians are not having this safe space where they can, appreciate, write, read lesbian literature, or whatever. I mean, we have not just the writers and the readers, though. We have everyone attached to it, right?
We have cover artists, editors, narrators, people who even just manage the process.
Right. And the whole idea is to be able to exchange ideas, to network with one another, to learn from one another. So yeah, we had our annual meeting yesterday. Tell us more about that, Ellen.
So we had our annual meeting. We discussed what we did last year. Which was, we had our big membership drive. It was our very first year being up and about. We formed as a nonprofit last year, halfway through the year. I think it was October. We held our first annual meeting, and it was the very first meeting we ever held. So this was our first full year in production. We're still here. We feel that we're growing slowly, which is right on target with where we wanted to be. We didn't want to grow too fast. We didn't want to overextend ourselves. We have a community online using the Circle Social app. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. And we're going to start utilizing our YouTube channel. We have done 4 presentations and panels over the last year, which is 1 a quarter, which was our goal. We're going to have another one in December. That should be interesting, which is for readers and why readers read what they read. And that's about what we do. If you're interested, the website is up on the screen. You can read all our policies and documents on there, our governance documents. So if you're interested, you can come by and take a look at us.
Yeah, and actually, we're still looking for a few more readers for the panel too, I believe.
Yeah, we are.
We are interested in. Yeah.
If you're interested, just reach out.
Yeah, we want to find out what readers are looking for when they're reading a book. What is it that attracts them to a book? What keeps them reading it? And what
got that wrong.
What keeps them interested in the book, and what drives them away? What will get them to stop reading a book? Yeah. And can I tell you something funny? For years, if I started a book, I always finished the book, even if it was really, really bad. I don't know why I had that mindset, but I would keep on reading, just going through it, even if I couldn't stand it. And then I don't know what happened. I think a switch flicked on or something, and I just finally thought to myself, why am I wasting my time reading this book I don't like when there's so many other books out there? But
And it'll be interesting to see what turns you off on a book.
yeah, we definitely want to know that. Because we have such a wide variety of books out there for us in our niche. I mean, 20
Yeah,
years ago, you didn't have much of a selection, but
I think
nowadays,
that was probably why we all had the mindset of I have to finish this book, because you
yeah,
had so few choices back then that if you didn't finish the book, you weren't finishing anything.
right, yeah. But nowadays we have such a wide selection in so many genres within our
Yeah.
niche too. Used to just be romance or just historical fiction, but now you can get it in all the genres that you can think of, which I
Yeah.
think is wonderful. But don't you think I would like to know what the readers have to say, especially since nowadays it's so easy to publish a book. I mean, people are self-publishing and they just get it up there right away. And I want to know how that's impacted, the readers out there, how it's changed the way they look at these books and how selective they are, what they're looking for when they have all of those.
Because now you have so many to choose from. You can be like,
Right.
I love this book. I'm going to finish this book. Oh, there's a glitch in this book I don't like, and I'm just going to go pick something out of the other hundreds of thousands of books. I would love it if it was hundreds of thousands.
I was going to say it's the hyperbole right there, but
very much a hyperbole, hundreds of thousands.
but there is a wide selection, and it's true. I mean, I've had where some people they're reading through and like, I just can't stand that all these punctuation errors. I can't keep reading this. It's a good plot, but I just can't look at it. So that is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's nice to see that Lee agrees with us over at Desert Palm Press.
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Lee. Good morning. Lee's in California.
Yeah. So look at that. Yeah. So Lee had a good point there that your literary tastes do tend to grow as you grow. And as you read more, I'm thinking you become more selective because now you're starting to know what you like, what you don't like, what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. So that's a great point. Yeah. So I think that's cool. That's going to be a great panel. And the other panels this year were also awesome. I can say that because I was on one of them.
Yeah.
That was the editing panel. And what else did we have?
We had editing. We had a presentation on
self-publishing.
Self-publishing versus publishing house.
Right. That was Karen Werlinger, who did a great job.
Like Karen Werlinger. She did a very awesome job on that one.
Yeah.
I feel, and on that topic of the indie versus publishing, sometimes I feel like publishing houses get, I don't want to say a bad rap or not, sort of like people get a negative impression of working with a publisher because they feel like they lose control.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and I think that was what the presentation was trying to show, was that both sides of it, and that sometimes giving up a little bit of control, because you're not giving up much, but a little bit of control is okay, because I don't have the time or the wherewithal or the money to finance a book.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of it. A publishing house is going to pay out costs at the front end for your editor, for your copy, for your cover designer, for the proofreading. So you have that money that's being fronted for you. But there's also other considerations. A publishing house, they do all the stuff in the background you don't even know about. As far as the editing around, but also the formatting and the promoting and the uploading to the platforms. I mean, there's a lot that we're doing here. And but you're right, you don't have as much control in the sense that you don't know what's happening. I mean, you're submitting this manuscript and then you're going through the editing rounds with your editor, but then you really don't know what the hell is going on for months at a time before it's released.
Well, I think that's where good communication comes in. And I think
think so too.
Launch Point Press and Desert Palm Press do that well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we try to. We try and give them the entire process. We let them know when the advanced copies are ready so they can start asking people to review it, friends, family. And then we
Mm-hmm.
also send it out to more professional reviewers. And that takes several months for those professional reviewers to even look at it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time. That's why we're not releasing right after we finish the editing rounds, because we're
Mm-hmm.
waiting for those reviews. Reviews are important. So that helps
And you have
drive
to
their
do your
sales.
own marketing, whether you're with a publishing house or whether you're doing it on your own.
Yeah, that's another thing
Yeah.
I hear a lot from newer authors, particularly. They think that once they write it, they're done. And that's only the beginning. That's stage
Yeah.
one. You have to get yourself in front of people. And that's why we do these live streams, right? So you can
Yep.
give them another opportunity to be seen by people, and get their books
You got to
read.
be willing to. I know a huge number of authors are introverts, but you got to put
Mm.
yourself out there.
You just gotta do it. This is a safe space. We try
Yeah.
and make our authors feel as comfortable as
We're nice
possible in these.
people.
We are nice
We're
people. Let
friendly,
me
nice
tell you.
people.
We are awesome. So, and the other thing with self-publishing is you have to have all these skills that you've never really thought of. I mean, you can hire an editor to do the editing, but you still have to know how to format your book to upload or you have to pay someone to do it. So
Yeah.
you're doing every single aspect of it. And if you're okay and you're good at learning these, the technical part of it and the specifications and all that, then go for it, but
I
uh, yeah.
I felt bad when I learned that part of the formatting process was that you have to get rid of all the little white spaces after the periods
Yep.
at the ends of paragraphs. And
Yes.
I always double space, hit
Mm-hmm.
the white space twice after every paragraph because I keep thinking, I'm going to write another line. So I'm just going to keep going. And then I make another paragraph. And poor Lee is sitting there with my manuscript having to take out all those little periods.
Yeah, I know. I know it's tough. And it's things, and there are other problems you come up with the formatting, such as, if people are putting things into the headers or footers, we have to take those out, put our own stuff in. The formatting's always, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
People using tab, that's like a horrible thing to never use a tab at the end of a paragraph. You
Yeah.
do a hard enter. So you have all these formatting issues that we have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Most things authors would never think of. But if you don't fix them, when you go to print something, it's going to look horrible. It's not going to be
Yeah.
formatted in the way you need it. So yeah, there's a
And
lot on the
and you
backside.
need time for that. I work a full-time job and I
Yeah.
just don't and I'm involved in things like Opus and I belong to my homeowners association board and I do
Mm-hmm.
politics and I just don't have time to sit there and do this. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
willing to hand it over to somebody.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you still have to do your own promoting, obviously. You want to be seen
Yeah.
on social media, on your website, and then on the web pages, of course. But that's why, going to these literary cons whenever you can, the conferences, doing book readings when you can, going live on stream, and not just through ours. There are other organizations that give
Mhm.
you opportunities to be interviewed or to read from a book. So all
Yeah.
of that, you want to take advantage as much as possible.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a lot of the Facebook groups like I know the lesbian campfire is one.
Hmm.
And I know there are a couple of others where when your book comes out, the day it drops, you can do advertising for it. You can
Hmm.
do a reading. Some of the pages are like, yeah, you want to come do a reading, come do a reading whenever you want. But you
Yeah,
just gotta
definitely.
get
Yeah.
out there and know which ones they are.
And that's part of it too, is doing some homework or talking to other authors and finding out where there are opportunities and then taking advantage of it. I can say if an author approaches me asking if they can be on this, we're going to try and do it, and
Mhm.
sometimes there are scheduling conflicts, but other than that, we try and get people on here. And that's why we always open it up to other presses too, because we want to
Yeah.
help each other. We want to support each other. This is a small
Hmm.
niche, and it's hard.
Yeah, we've had authors from I think Billa Books, Bywater Books.
Mm-hmm.
We've had, I think we had a Bold Strokes
Flashpoint.
book, Flashpoint,
Yeah, bold
yeah,
strokes. Yeah.
Bold Strokes.
Um, I don't know where else.
And
Yeah, indie authors too
we've
who
had indie
self-publish.
authors.
Yeah. So yeah, we do that, and we'll continue to do that too. Hey,
Yeah.
and while we're talking about authors, I wanted to give a shout out to our newest author that we just signed last week. Her name's Rasha Solon. She's writing about a 75-year-old Black woman who basically decides to explore part of her sexuality. Her husband has died, and she decides to look up her a past love, who's a woman, and goes down that road. And it
Mm-hmm.
is a beautiful book. It's coming out probably in the spring. Really excited. So look for her.
Sounds like a beautiful story.
Yeah, I'm really excited about her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for as far as what else is going on for projects and stuff like that, tell us about what you're working on right now, Ellen.
What am I working on? What am I
Yeah.
supposed to be working on?
Yes.
I am working on another book. So this will be book 4 in the Riverview universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to call them a series, but you do have characters from the previous stories show up once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
This one is following Riley, who was the teenager in Osprey Calling.
Okay. Awesome. I love
Um,
that book.
she was also in the anthology Tales from the Desert Palms. What was it? Tales of? Tales of? From?
Yeah. Tales Under.
Under. Tales Under the Desert Palm.
Yeah, I was in that too. Cool. So
Yeah.
you're going forward with
Yeah.
more on
So we're
that.
going forward with that. She, in the anthology, she falls in love in high school with
Mm-hmm.
Leah. And so Riley and Leah have now gone off to college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is going to follow them after they've come out of college and what's going on in their lives.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yep.
So what's
Interesting
their
enough.
age?
So their age is going to be about 34, 35.
Okay, so
Somewhere
they've been
around
out of
there.
college for a while now. They're
So
getting
they've
more
been out of
established.
college. They're established. Leah comes back into town after being away. She went to school. She went to graduate school. She became, I believe, she was an architect. But she's come back to town to be an oyster farmer, which is
Mm-hmm.
a thing here on the North Fork of Long Island. There are oyster farms,
Mm-hmm.
and she's part of the Shinnecock Nation, which is the indigenous people of Long Island, one of the indigenous groups on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
They have a reservation out in the Hamptons.
Mm-hmm.
So she's part of that, and she is very much one with nature as far as the oyster farming goes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see where they are in their lives now. Now that they've grown up, Riley is a physical therapist,
Mm.
and as usual, there's going to be some traumatic event that happens in one of my books. Shockingly,
Oh, wow, that's really unusual for you to write something like that.
I know, right? I love
Just
that somebody wrote
kidding.
that. I love that somebody wrote that under one of my reviews. Oh
I
my
think
God.
you're getting a reputation for that, Ellen. You put
Every
them
one
through
of
the
my
paces.
characters has to go through something.
Yeah,
It's character building.
that's
It's what
right.
makes them who they are.
I think what I really like, one of the things I really like about your books is that you really delve into that. You don't shy away from it. You really show, what their internal emotional state is throughout your books, and so you can really
Hmm.
see what's going on. And I think that's why so many people love your books, because you really
Yeah.
you show the internal dialogue and of what's going on with these characters.
Yeah. I think the hardest one I did so far was traumatic love because that was just
Mm,
so intense an emotion. It dealt with two survivors of domestic violence growing up,
yeah.
and it was looking at how you could have two people in somewhat similar situations grow up to be entirely different people,
Yeah.
and how their survival mechanisms kick in.
Well, that's certainly true. I mean, I'm a twin. I have a twin brother, and we are two very different people, and we grew up in the
Mhm.
same environment. So, but we just reacted differently. And yep,
Yeah,
so it's totally true for two people.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, cool. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Can't wait to see the next thing.
yeah. So, what are you working on? Tell the world what you're working on.
Yes, I have been off and on. Um, working on a sequel to You Matter, and You Matter was pretty successful. It was about a, um, a former client of a senior attorney who tries to gun her down after she loses his case. And throughout that also she falls in love with her paralegal, and so you have these two things happening. So this sequel happens 5 years later, and the daughter of the gunman who ends up getting killed when he tries to kill the attorney, the daughter of the gunman is now in her early 20s. And she is determined to infiltrate that law firm and get her revenge for her father's death. Yes. The problem is she's a stupid early 20-year-old who thinks she knows everything, but she hardly knows anything with what actually happened or how her father died. All she knows is that she's picking up the pieces of her life and her mother's life, because everything imploded. And with her father's death, they were stuck with, this big loan that the mafia gave the father to buy the duplex that ended up blowing up. And that's why that was the case, by the way. It was an insurance case basically where the tenants for that duplex were suing for damages. So, all she knows is that her life was destroyed. They have to pay the mafia this huge amount every single month. So she's working full time. Her mom's working full time. So she becomes a paralegal. She gets an internship at the law firm, and she's trying to find stuff, about the attorneys, Reggie, and then her wife. And she wants to destroy their lives. And she tries to do that, but being a stupid 20-something-year-old, it doesn't go the way she thinks it should. And by the way, she has started to really like them. So, she's going forward with her plan, but she's conflicted because she likes Reggie and she likes her, Chrissy. And so it's this whole thing where she has this internal war, but she's trying to avenge her father's death, even though she doesn't know what really went down with that. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. There are a lot of pieces to pull together for it, and I've written about half of it. So I'm hoping I will get it done in the next couple of months, and we'll get into circulation next year.
Okay, sounds good. Now this is your second work or third work-related romance.
Yeah, well, this isn't so much a romance, but yeah.
So I have situation.
Yes. Yes. So this one was at a law firm. The sequel I'm writing is at a law firm. Yeah, I also did Leveling Up, which was a workplace romance that was for companies that made video games and stuff. And also Lost Treasures. My first one was a magazine, the CEO of a magazine, and an artist. She's a window artist, design artist. So yeah, I mean, most of them are really workplace romances to some extent. I mean, you could even make the case for Undertow, which was about the woman, the career politician running for president. I mean, she fell in love with an attorney who had been asking her questions at an event, a political event. So you can even say that's workplace to some extent. So I like workplace romance.
You do like workplace romance. And there seem to be a lot of lawyers involved. I don't know, Jerry.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because I'm an attorney like you are, but who knows? Who knows? You write what you know, and then you kind of branch off. I always wonder about those people that write murder mysteries, and they write from the point of view of the murderer. You're like, how do you know that? Like, you're not writing what you know, right? What's going on there? Well, I think, so that's coming up. I'm glad we're both writing. That's good. And looking forward to seeing what else is coming out through Desert Palm Press and Launch Point Press. It's very exciting.
I think they just had a book come out at Desert Palm Press.
Yeah, something just came out.
String of Days by Barbara Lynn Murphy.
Awesome. She's a great writer. So looking forward to reading that one.
Queen's Eye by Jane Alden came out recently, I think.
And that was awesome. I read that.
That was good. That was really good. That was a sequel, I believe, right?
Yep, it was.
It was. And Big Cross Dead by Antonelle.
Yes.
She always has a good story.
Yeah, and this one's a little different for her because it is about
Yeah.
I think, a serial killer.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
And
she
Barbara
assures
Lynn.
me that she doesn't have those inclinations. She doesn't
Okay.
really.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right. And I think Barbara Lynn Murphy won an award at
She won a Goldie, didn't she?
the Goldie this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So good
And
on
for
her.
those who don't know, Goldies are from the Golden Crown Literary Society Awards,
Mm-hmm.
another
Yeah.
organization that you can join.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. So anything else we want to say before we wrap up this year?
No, I think we covered everything. What we're gonna do? Wait, hold on. Somebody, let's see what we have over here. We have a surprise. If I can get my mouse to work. Desert Palm Lee says the covers are amazing. They are amazing.
Yeah, I think
covers.
so too. Yeah.
No,
We're very fortunate to have some
Can
great cover
can we
design
ask
artists.
Lee, what cover? If you're listening, Lee, who did the cover art on these?
Yeah, was that Mish? I'm not sure. I
Let's
think it
see
might
if
have been
we can
Mish
answer.
Produr.
Yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, we have some great cover artists. So
yeah.
exciting.
So we're gonna
Exciting.
put that's the website address for Desert Palm Press, where you can go and use for the sale and use
Yeah, I
the
was right.
coupon code.
I was right. Mish Produr. So she's an awesome cover
Wait,
artist.
let's see. Hold on. Miche Brodeur. Is that French?
It is, and I think it's DEUR, but whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She did all my covers, by the way. I endorse her entirely.
Okay.
Awesome.
And here's the website for Launch Point Press, where you can go get all the authors over at Launch Point Press.
Yep, that's where my stuff is
Heather
housed
B.
too.
Book will be there soon.
Yep, in December.
Okay.
Yeah, I was right. DEUR, so we're good.
Yeah, there you go. She admits she made a mistake.
That's all right. We all do it. All right. Well, this year's been awesome. Looking forward to next year. We gave you a lot of information today. Feel free to contact me or Ellen. If we don't talk to you beforehand, happy holidays for those who celebrate it, and happy new year. And we will see you on the flip side in 2025.
Looking forward to 2025.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Anne McMahon did Jane Austen's cover.
Oh, we got that last PS.
Get that last PS in there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.